Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Mark Causey here from Black Cat Comics in rockin Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day and I like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic shop and pick up something fun to read. It's a very small week, you know, with the new comics rolling out. They've been easing us back into the full bore thing, but there's always lots of great stuff to talk about. Gotta start with this one this week. This is the 80th anniversary of Catwoman, the 100-page special. One of the greatest characters in the history of comics, one of the greatest characters in fiction, one of my all-time favorites. First appears way back in Batman #1, right alongside the Joker back in 1940. So yes, this amazing-looking woman is 80 years old today. Please pick up this special. Some of the best creators in comics working on this, particularly Black Cat favorite inker Mick Gray, who will be on our Comic Shop Talk live show here a week from Saturday. Love Catwoman, love these giant 100-page giants, lots of stories inside there. That's your Jim Lee cover. There's a different cover for all the different decades of this amazing character. Can't say enough about this. Like I say, make sure that one makes it into your stack. And of course, here's your regular issue of Catwoman. That's your issue number 22. Happy birthday, Selena. Great stuff there. And then one of my favorite things to do in these videos is to show you Action Comics with a cool John Romita Jr. cover there. Detective Comics, the one that launched Batman and is a big reason why we're all here. And Wonder Woman, number 756. Rounds out the great trinity of comics. I love when Action, Detective, and Wonder Woman all come out in the same week. These are three books that should be on every comic fan's list. Three titles that are just excellent right now. Some of the top talent in comics working on the three top books in comics. You just can't ever go wrong with Action, Detective, and Wonder Woman. Great stuff. Batman, Superman is 2/3 of the trinity teaming up every month in a book that they used to call World's Finest. You know I love me anything Superman. Aquaman and Shazam are a couple other big-time Justice Leaguers. I love this Shazam title. You can read more about this one in the newsletter. This is a sort of one-shot fill-in issue, guest starring Batman, not the usual creative team, but this issue's awesome and the usual creative team is awesome. So for some reason you haven't been following Shazam, check out the movie and then pick up the latest issue because that book is just tons and tons of fun. And Justice League Dark is your DC team book. Rounds out your DC proper, but always more DC to talk about, like Far Sector. That is both your Green Lantern book and your Young Animal book of the week. This one's really taken off too. Lots and lots of people have this on their subscription list. So if you don't know what this one's about, you may want to grab the reprint of the first issue. Good stuff. John Constantine Hellblazer is your formerly known as Vertigo book. This is your Black Label book of the week. Good stuff there. And this guy, this is X-Men Volume 1 from Jonathan Hickman. This is about your only Marvel book this week. For whatever reason, Marvel's kind of lagging behind the return to publishing schedule. However, this is a book that lots and lots of people have been waiting for. If you're one of the strange people that holds out for trade paperbacks instead of reading periodicals, this is a book that needs to make its way into your stack. This is the core title of the X Renaissance we've been talking so much about. Might want to grab the Black Cat pack for Powers of X and House of X before you dive into this one, but you can just dive into this one and then be on the lookout for all the other ensuing volume 1s like X-Force and New Mutants and Excalibur and all the other stuff. This X-Renaissance stuff has been really, really great, really awesome. Cool new take on the whole X universe. It's not a reboot, that's why I kind of call it Renaissance. It's not starting all over from scratch, it's just the next chapter in the big adventure, the ongoing life of Marvel's Merry Mutants. Like I say, great time to be an X fan, so pick that one up. Good week for all the other guys too. Critical Role is your Dark Horse book of the week because you guys love yourself some Vox Machina. And this guy is one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. This is Paul is Dead. This is an original graphic novel. This is your Image book of the week. I always say there's always a first issue, gotta have an Image book of the week. They've been doing more and more of these original graphic novels. Everybody is a huge Beatles fan. If you're not 100 years old and you don't know the whole thing about the death of Paul McCartney, then this trade paperback, this graphic novel is especially for you. If you are 100 years old like me and you do know the story of the death of Paul McCartney, then this book is also totally for you. Yes, it's purely fiction. It's not some kind of historical reanalysis of the whole thing. Don't want to say too much about it, but pick this book up. Really, really awesome. Everybody loves anything with the Beatles in comics. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Every Generation is your Boom Studios book of the week. You know I love me anything Joss Whedon. Been loving all this stuff since he's taken it over to Boom Studios. He started Buffy and Angel from scratch all over again. So if you're a Buffy fan like me, like a lot of people, then you're going to want to check this out. Grab the first volume trade paperback or just pick up the singles and catch up to this one. Great time to be a Buffy fan. Star Trek Year 5 is your IDW book of the week. It's my IDW book of the week because it's got a black cat on it. How cool is that? You know it was a 5-year mission, but the show ended before they showed you the 5th year. So now they're showing you the 5th year in comic book form, which is always awesome. Everybody loves some original Trek. Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. This is your latest issue, the return of Nancy Drew to comics. This one is called, morbidly, The Death of Nancy Drew, as we watch the Hardy Boys investigate the death of Nancy Drew. Super, super awesome. Who doesn't love Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys? Great stuff. Make sure that one makes it into your stack. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch returns. You know I've been talking of Archie Comics. You know I've been talking everything Archie, from their all ages line to their mainstream PG-13 line to the horror comics. Sabrina is one of my all-time favorite characters because, well, for some reason I'm a big fan of witches like Sabrina and Zatanna and the Scarlet Witch. Just makes for good comics. Archie is just knocking it out of the park with everything they do these days. So if you were ever an Archie fan, it's a great time to pick up something. If you are a current Archie fan, then you definitely want to find this one in your stack this week. Like I say, love me Sabrina, love me everything Archie these days. Just a couple all ages. Casper Spookville. Love anything Casper the Friendly Ghost. Great to see. American Mythology does such a great job of keeping this classic stuff in print. I super appreciate that. And ScoobyDoo, where are you? Nothing more classic than Casper and ScoobyDoo. Always recommending folks have an all ages book on their list, because all the different publishers do a great job with the all ages stuff. Something for you, something for the younger reader in your life. Like I say, not a huge week, but lots and lots of great stuff. So check those shipping lists. Go to black-cat-comics.com and pick up something super awesome. Gotta mention that we're still not open to the public yet, so make sure you schedule that curbside pickup or arrange your order to be shipped to you. If you are really missing us or missing the inside of the shop, go to black-cat-comics.com, book yourself a virtual appointment, and give us your questions and comments. We'll take you around the store, show you what we've got here that you might not see, things that you might not see online. That's all we got for you for this week. Check us out at YouTube, check us out at Facebook, check us out at black-cat-comics.com, and like I say, book that curbside pickup and pick up some new comics. And don't forget to tune in Saturday, 2 p.m., Facebook and YouTube for Comic Shop Talk Live. This week's standard show, and the next week will feature special guest Mick Gray. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.